Good morning, students. Next topic we consider as a orifice meter. That is, we are considering here applications of Bernoulli's equation. That is, total energy remains constant. So, last class we consider the Venturi meter. Next topic we consider as a orifice meter or orifice plate. So again, this is a device used to measure the flow rate or discharge of a fluid. So discharge of the fluid passing through this pipe, or we have to know the how much liquid is flowing per second, that is the discharge through a pipe. For that we can use the orifice meter or orifice plate. So we can see here this is a orifice plate having the hole at the center. So as the water or any liquid is passing through the pipe, that will be along the streamlines. So when orifice meter is placed in between this path, it causes restriction to the flow, and the here whatever the pressure energy available, that energy is converted into the velocity. Means here pressure drop will be occur across this orifice plate. So at this point, if you fix a pressure gauge or pressure manometer limb, and at this point if you connect another pressure manometer limb, so here will be the pressure will be more, and here because of restriction to the flow, some of pressure energy is converted into the kinetic energy. Means according to Bernoulli's principle, this total energy is constant. So here conversion of this pressure reduced means this is converted into the another as a velocity. So we can measure the difference of pressure head at these 2 points and find the pressure head. So we can see our construction. This is a pipe. In that, this orifice plate is inserted in the flow path. To fix the orifice plate, the flanges or this is screwed. So here, as the flow takes place, because of small hole or small opening, the flow area will be reduced. Flow area will be reduced up to this point. So where area is minimum, that area is called vena contracta. So here the flow area is minimum, means velocity is maximum. As the we know discharge formula is area into velocity. So as the area is reduced here, velocity will be increased. Means some pressure energy is converted into the kinetic energy. So at vena contracta, area is minimum and velocity we get maximum. So this shows the recirculation of the fluid. So initially path will be along these streamlines, but due to this obstruction in the flow, there may be ED losses or there is a recirculation of the fluid. So that is shown here. So we can consider this is the orifice meter to measure the discharge. So this is a actual photograph of this orifice. So there are two discs or two flanges between that the orifice meter. We can see here the one is the orifice plate having the hole at this point. Point 2 is shown as a hole in the orifice. So pressure tapping to measure the pressure across this orifice plate. So pressure is measured, that is at the inlet and outlet of the orifice plate. So these are two forces are shown as a orifice flange. So as the flow will be takes place, because of this obstruction to the flow, there will be the pressure energy conversion into the kinetic energy, and we can measure the drop in pressure across orifice. So this is the orifice plate shown here. Simple construction as a orifice and a concentric orifice plate, and this is a flow direction. So another type is bevel edge orifice plate, bevel edge. So these two types of orifice plates are used. So one concept is the vena contracta. So as the along the flow, because of small hole in the orifice plate, the flow area will be reduced and flow area goes on increasing. So at a one point the flow area becomes minimum. That point is called as a vena contracta. So here flow area is minimum. So vena contracta occurs just ahead of this orifice plate. So not exactly at the orifice. This is the supposed diameter of the orifice, and the vena contracta will be the above just zero point 0.5 diameter or above the uh, in front of the this orifice plate. So here velocity will be maximum and pressure will be the least. So we can use as like this YouTube manometer to measure the pressure difference across this orifice meter. So in diagram shows the flow will be takes place. So at section 1 the pressure and velocities are same as the fluid flow, but because of this orifice plate this flow area is reduced and velocity will be increased. So some pressure energy is reduced into kinetic energy. So this loss in pressure or pressure drop we can measure using the YouTube manometer or sometimes piezometers can be used. So this high of the mercury or any liquid will be shows the head difference between the these 2 points. So at point 1 pressure will be max. This will be displaced the fluid manometric fluid on this side. So we can measure the differential pressure and accordingly that can be used to find the velocity. So point 1 is taken at the upstream of the orifice plate, and section 2 is taken at the vena contracta, that is after the or downstream of the orifice meter. So we will now obtain the expression for discharge, that means flow rate through the orifice. So again this is application of Bernoulli's equation. So applying at section 1 and 2. At section 1 the pressure in the head is P1 by rho g, kinetic energy is V1 square by 2g, and the Z is the elevation. So equating at the section 2, now as the Bernoulli's principle total energy along the fluid flow remains constant. So equating this, these are the total energies at the two sections. So taking Z1 on the left side and P2 by rho g plus Z2 on the left side, and we get P1 by rho g plus Z1 minus P2 by rho g Z2. So these two bracket difference are nothing but the H, that is the differential manometer reading or piezometer head difference. This is the pressure energy difference. So we can get H is equal to V2 square by 2g minus V1 square by 2g, or taking g 2g on the right side, 2gh is equal to V2 square minus V1 square. Therefore velocity at section 2 is square root of 2gh plus V1 square. Now this is the velocity we have got at the section 2. So using at section 2 the at vena contracta the area is suppose A2 and AO is the area of orifice. So AO is the area of orifice. That means at the whole area, the orifice area is AO, and at the vena contracta area A2 is minimum. So we can use a one term coefficient of contraction. So here we can see at this point is the orifice area, and at this point is the area of vena contracta A2. So we can use to relate the these two areas coefficient of contraction is the A2, area of the vena contracta upon area of orifice. So we can replace A2 as a area of orifice that we can measure by the orifice diameter and into coefficient of contraction Cc. So put again using the continuity equation, we know A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. So here V1 is equal to, we can take, so here V1 is equal to, we can take A2 V2 by A1 is equal to AO, putting the value of A2 is a AO into CC. We get this expression. So V2 we get 2GH plus this. Now squaring on both sides, V2 square 2GH plus A0 AO upon A1 square CC square V2 square. So taking V2 common, V2 square, we get 1 minus AO upon A1 square CC square equal to 2GH. Therefore, finally V2 is under root of 2GH divided by this bracket terms. Now this is the V2 velocity at section 2. Now discharge we know is equal to A into area into velocity. So V2 into A2. So putting the value of A2 as a AO into CC and putting this value of V2 we get discharge is equal to AOCC under root of 2GH under root of 1 minus A0 A1 square CC square. Now simplifying this again we know the actual flow rate is less than the theoretical flow rate. So this formula is for the theoretical flow rate. So actual discharge we know Q actual is equal to so for that we are using the coefficient CD. CD we know as a actual discharge Q actual upon Q theoretical. So that means V2 VA actual velocity into area upon theoretical velocity into area. So CD we can write using this equation. CD we get CC. This under root 2GH will be cancelled. So we get under root of 1 minus A1 square, that is actual V, and this is the theoretical V. Now so we get CC in terms of CD. So putting again Q is equal to area into, that is we have considered Q is equal to here AOCC under root of 2GH. This is a theoretical one. So putting here actual discharge AOCD under root of 1 minus A0 AO1 upon A1 square CC square into this. So we have replaced the value of CC in terms of CD. So we get simplifying this CQ is equal to CD A0 A1 under root of 2GH A1 square minus A2 square. So this formula is again similar to the venturimeter. Here only difference is the area of orifice meter is taken. So in venturimeter we know the formula is A1 A2 under root of 2GH. Same formula is for venturimeter A1 square minus A2 square. So here instead of A2 A0 area of orifice is taken. So discharge formula is similar to the venturimeter CD A0 A1 under root of 2GH A1 under root of A1 square minus A2 square. So from this we can determine the discharge through the orifice meter. So again venturimeter and orifice meter are the flow measuring devices. So we can compare these two the devices. So orifice meter, as we can see, it is a plate that can be insert into the flow path and two flanges are required. So that are easy to make and cheap as compared to the venturimeter. So we'll remind venturimeter we have in last class considered it having the converging section, then throat section and diverging section. So this throat section is near about to pipe diameter, slow throat section and diverging section. This is a venturimeter we have considered. So venturimeter is expensive and large for large pipe diameter requires large material. So it is expensive and takes venturimeter to assemble into pipeline. It is the take times. So venturimeter is as compared to the orifice meter is expensive and takes time to install. As compared to that, orifice meter having a orifice plate and flanges are used to fix the orifice meter. But here disadvantage of orifice meter, here head loss is more, that results in the high power consumption. Now how this will we see? We know the power consumption that depends upon the pressure drop. So power required for the flow rate. So we know as the pumps are used to, pumps create more pressure. That means they are creating the pressure difference. So at the pump outlet pressure is more than the at the where point we have to flow the fluid. And again flow rate, pump power depends on the how much discharge is required. That means how much mass flow rate required. So this orifice meter causes, we have seen in diagram, orifice meter, in orifice meter there is a decrease in the diameter of the pipe along the flow. So that means pressure, some of the pressure energy is convert into the velocity. Some of the pressure energy means pressure head is convert into the velocity. So this pressure is drop is there, means some energy of the pump or pressure is lost, means more pump power will be needed. So orifice meter, we can consider orifice meter having the head loss. Head loss is more in the orifice meter, that results in the high power consumption. So as compared to venturimeter, venturimeter consists of the uh, two parts. One is the converging section. So here area reducing, and after that recover some of the head loss by using the diverging section. So diverging section recovers here pressure energy that drops in diverging section, that can be recovered somewhat. So here head loss in the venturimeter is less. That is the difference. So for mostly testing purpose, the orifice meters are used, and for continuous flow measurement in a large pipe size, venturimeters can be used. One more, that is the CD is of orifice meter is less because of the high losses, and so high coefficient of discharge in the orifice meter is, or coefficient of discharge, that means actual flow rate upon theoretical flow rate, that discharge coefficient of discharge is less because of the high losses, and the eddies are formed at the vena contracta. But as compared to that, diverging section used in the venturimeter, CD is more. So next we consider here the, so we have derived the expression for venturimeter. The discharge of the venturimeter, this formula is important. CD A0 AO A1 under root of 2G1 2GH under root of A1 square minus actually here A0 square. So next we get, next flow measuring device is pitot tube. So pitot tube is used for the measuring the velocity of a flow at any point in the channel. So pitot tube basically used to measure the velocity of a flow. So we can see the construction of pitot tube. In a simple type, it is a tube bent at a 90 degree. So here this is the pitot tube that is bent at a 90-degree angle. So principle of this pitot tube, at the point 1 the fluid is coming at a velocity, some velocity, so that is flowing. But this pitot tube causes, there is a, at this point as the fluid is passing, as it enters in the pitot tube, there is a, the flow will be stopped because there is no path to the travel here. So at point 2 it causes restriction to the flow. So at point 2 we can assume the velocity becomes zero. So principle is that the, if the velocity of a flow at any point becomes zero, pressure is increased due to conversion of kinetic energy into potential energy. So here as the flow becomes steady. So this point 2 is also called stagnation point, and pressure at this point is called stagnation pressure. And at point 1 the fluid having the static pressure as well as due to the velocity dynamic pressure. So as the point fluid comes at point 2, its velocity becomes 0. So whatever the velocity, according to Bernoulli's principle, total energy remains constant. So here, whatever the kinetic energy due to velocity is converted into the pressure energy. So fluid will be rise in this piezometer, or it will be rise in this tube. So H denotes this H. Fluid will be rise because of the conversion of kinetic energy into this pressure energy. So initially the from the center of pipe, this is the H difference, and fluid will be rise up to H. So here using the concept of by measuring the pressure difference between the 1 and 2, we can measure the velocity of the fluid. So pitot tube normally used to measure the local velocities. Local means if you have to measure the velocity at different points along the flow, we can use the pitot tube. So again using the applying the Bernoulli's equation at the two sections of the pitot tube. At section 1 the velocity is there, and at section 2 velocity we assume the 0, that is the flow becomes stagnant. So here we can consider applying Bernoulli's equation. P1 by rho g V1 square by 2g Z1 is equal to at point 2, but here there is no such a head difference, so Z1 is equal to Z2, and velocity at point 2 is 0 as the fluid comes to rest. So V2 is 0. Putting this value, again P1 by rho g is the pressure head at 1, static pressure head at 1, that is the H, and pressure head at 2 will be the addition of small h. The small h is because of the velocity at point 2 becomes 0. So kinetic energy is converted into this pressure energy. So at pressure head at 2 is more. So this P2 by rho g is called as a stagnation pressure, and P1 by rho g is the static pressure head. So putting these two values we get h plus V1 square by 2g, h plus h. So cancelling h on this side, we get small h is equal to V1 square by 2g, or velocity at point 1 is square root of 2gh. So we can find this by this way. The velocity of the flowing fluid is square root of 2gh. So higher the value of h, more is the velocity of the fluid. So we can measure the h. H is the head difference. So in the pitot tube, how much fluid will be rise, that will be, we can measure h, or using the YouTube manometers at pressure 1 and 2, we can use the head difference. So velocity is under root of 2gh. So pitot 2 is measured the velocity by measuring the head difference as a square root of 2gh. So actual velocity, we know there is a friction between the fluid. We have assumed the frictionless viscous fluid is not there, but actually due to the friction the actual velocity is less, and that is given by Cv under root of 2gh. So Cv is called coefficient of pitot tube, that can be measured experimentally for given pitot tube. So here P1 we have shown here static pressure, and P2 is called as the stagnation pressure. So we can see here as the flow will be takes place here, the pressure shown is the P by rho g is the static pressure. This is up to the height because of this height of the fluid, and as the fluid comes to the pitot tube, thus this is called stagnation point, and the fluid will be rise in this pitot tube. So this H measure the level difference between these two. So this is the stagnation pressure, and here static pressure we can measure. So another form of pitot tube is the pitot static tube. Pitot static tube. This is a simple pitot tube in that the fluid will be rise. Here stagnation point is there. So one modification in the pitot tube is the pitot static tube. So both the dynamic pressure and the static pressure can be measured in the pitot static tube. So we can see in this diagram there are two concentric tube. At the center one tube is there, that is measure the static pressure, and at the along the sides there are holes are provided, so that can measure the static pressure. So we can show in this diagram, this is the direction of the flow along which this pitot tube is there. So here some fluid will be flow, velocity of which we have to measure, that flow will be in the center tube, and along the concentric tubes there are holes are provided. So these are perpendicular to the direction of flow. Direction of flow is there, and these holes are provided perpendicular to the flow. So here we can, outer tube will be measure the, and the outer side the pressure will be less, that measures the low, that is static pressure, and at the center the velocity is reduced to the zero. So at the center there is a high pressure side. So this differential we can measure, and according to the formula V is equal to under root of 2gh we can determine velocity of the fluid. So here we can show here again one more diagram. Here total pressure is, total pressure at this point is the static pressure, that is static pressure due to the pressure, and another due to the velocity is dynamic pressure. So total pressure is static pressure plus dynamic pressure. So static pressure is ps, dynamic pressure rho v square by 2, means because of velocity is dynamic pressure. So we can find here total pressure is at the centrally fluid will be pass, that will be gives the total pressure, and on the concentric side holes are provided, that will be measure the static pressure. So this pressure differential can use to measure the velocity of the fluid. Again we can measure the difference at this point, stagnation pressure we can measure. So we can see here local value. Another we have considered orifice meter to measure the flow rates, but the pitot tubes are measure local velocities of the flow. So along the flow, if we require the velocities at the different points, so sometimes pitot static tubes are used to measure the velocity of the air along the aeroplane wings. So we are, or air is flowing, air is flowing suppose to this duct, and we have to measure the velocities or pressure difference at this different point. So we can use number of pitot tubes along the flow, that measures the local velocities of the flow. From this we can determine the pressure head, and we can find the different static pressures or velocities of the flow along the flows. So that is the pitot tubes. Here in this diagram you can show here arrow shows the location of the pitot static tube to measure the flow rate of the air. So air will be enters this pitot static tube, and according to the V is equal to under root of 2gh we can determine the its velocity. So next class we will be consider the uh, orifice, then different types of orifice. There are three few terms that will be covered in the next class. Thank you.